Hi guys, Whitney from WSS Equestrian. Welcome to my video on where I give hints and tips on exhibiting your horse at a show for the very first time. So guys, let's start off with, it depends, every horse is different. Every horse is going to take new areas and new shows in differently. Each horse is completely different. So for example, I have 4 thoroughbreds here with me. This is Kitaf. He's going on 20 this year, same as Teddy. Teddy is my main show horse. If you haven't already seen, I have vlogged like Blaney's show and Orange show and our very first Sydney Royal show together with my beautiful horse Teddy, who I showed as WSS The Take. If you want to check them out, I'll link them in the description down below. You can see what I mean by taking Teddy to shows and exhibiting him. But Teddy is a horse I have showed since 2014. His first show, we couldn't stand still. He was dragging us, like he was just go, go, go. Teddy raced till he was a 10-year-old horse. So he just knew to go. He just knew to go. And it took a while. I think it took a year, 1 year of showing in Far North Queensland, which is only like a month realistically. But it took us a year and he got into the groove of it, going to shows within a month. Like we were just in North Queensland, you're on the run for a month doing Townsville, Ingham, Malanda, Atherton, Cairns, Mossman, Tully. They were our shows up in North Queensland. So we did that camping. It was like each show would be like 2-3 days each. He got into the groove of it and he learned. He's like, okay, I'm not racing anymore. I'm not at the races. I'm not having to run flat chat. So, and then you got a horse like Kitaf. Well, Teddy and Kitaf have really beautiful, quiet natures. I'm very blessed. My horses, all very quiet horses. But Kitaf, you could take him to a show and he'll stand. Like he raced till he was 7 and he was a successful bush racehorse too, like Teddy in Far North Queensland. And he's a very like this, as you see him now, this is what he is like at a horse show. He's very cool, cruisy, calm and collected. Teddy, he got there in the end. Like Teddy wasn't mad. Teddy was just go. He just couldn't stand still. He was a fidgeter. He just had to fidget around. But now he's got it. And he's like, cool, get up, just show up, stand still. Duh, yep, my job's done. A horse like Shrek didn't race as long. He raced till he was 4. So he didn't get those outings and experiences. Shrek doesn't like to go forward. He's a very slow horse. He was a failure as a racehorse, unfortunately. He's just better suited at other things. So Shrek, I took him to the Mudgee show in 2020. Yeah, it must have been 2020 or 2019. And he was very tense and on his toes and looky and oh my gosh, but he'd done a lot of traveling with Teddy leading up to that. He was the companion horse to get Teddy to shows. So he's been to shows, he just tied at the horse float. And that's what this is where I'm going with all of this, guys. That's why I really want to stress. I think it's really important before you take a horse to its very first show day. I can't stress it enough. You should take them to but I understand if you don't have any other horses, you've got to roll with it. Like say I had no horses at all and I just said Shrek, I just have to roll with it. I can't expect him to be a perfect champion winning horse straight from the get-go. Obviously you've got professional trainers and that's what they do, but for us that train our horses ourselves, do it all ourselves, I suggest, or from my experiences, I take the young horses, the new horses to the show world, to the shows with my other horses, tie them to the horse float. I go and do the shows with my other horses, and then we come back, and then you jump on and then go for a ride around the showgrounds. There's no pressure. You're not stressed going, oh my God, I've got high expectations for this horse today. I want to win. We need to win. And they feed off that energy. Horses are big energy readers, if you didn't already know that. So it's really, really, really important that you give them a calm introduction to showing, if that makes sense. Hey, Tough, do you agree? I think you agree. You want to introduce them slowly, no pressure, no expectations. You just go, okay, guys, here we go. We're just going to start doing this regularly. We're going to turn up on the weekends and we're going to trot around the show ring. And obviously don't do it when classes are on, like the lunch breaks or after or really early in the morning before the showing start, if you have time. Get on them, poke around if you feel safe enough, if they're safe enough, and obviously lunge them if they need the lunging. Every horse is different. Every horse reacts to things differently. Please be careful. Things can go wrong. You can get hurt. They can get hurt. Things will go wrong sooner rather than later. It's just an odds game. It's just horses. And any sport, any animal, things like that, they do happen, okay? So I highly stress, take them to shows before you start competing them and just letting them stand there at the horse float, letting them get used to the noise and the sounds. Some shows, like most of the country shows here in New South Wales, we don't have show rides. Like the crazy, like the whizzes and those long ones, I can't remember what they are, and like the big long stick that swings around with the 4 people on either end. I clearly don't go on these show rides. I'm not interested. And one, the heights is very scary for me. The Ferris wheel at Sydney Royal was very scary, and Chloe will quote me on that one. I literally, as soon as we started going up, I was like, yep, I'm out. I shut. Let's get out. Anyways, so I really want to stress, if you can, obviously you do what you think is best at the time and you roll with that. And I really, really want to stress, the more often you go out, the more often they're going to get relaxed in traveling with you, going to shows, going to new places, seeing new things. They will learn to relax in regularly rhythmed outings, if that makes sense. So it's really important not to just do it once in a blue moon, if that makes sense. Take them to a show and then time up. It all comes down to how serious you are in the show world, how serious you want to make it, and as yourself and the horse. And yeah, it's just one of them things. You need to know what your end game is, what your goal is, and work on it and set a plan ahead, a month ahead. Work out what shows you're going to go to. Don't pull them out the night before and be like, we're going to do this, and have no training and preparation, exercising. You need to be riding them regularly, not once a week, not twice a week. You need to be doing a minimum of 4 times a week. 4 to 6 times a week is how often you should be riding your show horses, so that they are conditioned, the muscles are building, and that sort of thing, if that makes sense. So it's really, really, really important that you have a clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve, where you want to go. Obviously, have your long-term goals, like you want to go to a royal or a big breed show, have that, and figure out how many qualifications you need, and then understand when you're going to implement all this. And then have a look at the show year. All shows regularly have their shows on certain dates, well, in certain times of the month throughout the year, if that makes sense. So my local show is usually April, May of the year, if that makes sense. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I'll aim for my local show, but then there's a lot of shows usually around them. So have a good idea of the little shows that are close by that you can go and attend, take your new horse to, and let them learn the ropes, if you can, while you've got other horses to exhibit with. It can be a bit tough when you don't have anyone else and you've got to hit the ground running and learn with that horse. But for those of us that had to do that, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You've just got to have a lot of patience with your horse. Don't take it out. Don't hit him. Just please have good energy, have calm energy, and just be there for the horse, because we're taking them out of home, the safe environment, and we're taking them to places where we want them to perform for us, if that makes sense. If they had it their own way, I'm sure horses would happily just sit in a paddock and do nothing, eat, sleep, repeat, if that makes sense. So it's really important that we have respect and we understand our horses will find things stressful and overwhelming. So you've got to give them space and you've got to give them time to think and process and take it all in. So thank you very much, guys. I hope that was helpful. This was a question that came to me on Instagram. So if you've got questions, show horse related questions, please contact me on Instagram at WSS Equestrian. Send them through to me and I will jot them down like I did for this one. And I will create a video to explain my answers to you guys, because yes, it helps one person. I've messaged them back what I suggest, what I've said today in this video, but this can help many other people. And if you've got questions out there and I can answer them for you, we can help many more people out there and create a better understanding for showing, and just hopefully a smoother process for anyone getting started, because it is very daunting and frustrating and scary and full on and emotionally when you first start showing. So I just want to help try and make it a smoother process for everyone, as smooth as possible. Obviously things will do go wrong, and you got to think on the spot and like do things quickly, or sometimes things go horribly bad, as they can do, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I've been to a show where a horse didn't go home, if that makes sense. So you just gotta be careful, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. When you're going through the struggles, it's not going to be the end of the world. It is okay. You will get better. Every show you get better. Every time you go to a show, you are there to compete yourself. The winning a title or a ribbon, that is a bonus. You're there to go to shows to better yourself and your horse with your workmanship and your horsemanship and your riding ability. So I hope that was helpful. I'll stop rambling on, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in my video today, guys. Good luck with all your show horse riding success, and I look forward to sharing the next video with you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. All right, have a good day. Bye.